All right. Right now I'm sharpening it. I gotta make a chisel effect. Letter M in script. Piece is jumping on me. I'm gonna clamp it down tighter. Gonna get a bounce. The tighter the piece on the vise, the better. Get less chatter on the cut. Cut a beauty line to get that script, letter M.
What was the stuff you put on the blade or the knife before?
It's a Chinese white. It's like a white finger paint. And I put it on there so I can write it. I'll be able to see the surface. You can just, draw whatever you want on there, but you can also, it wipes off real easy. As you draw it, you have to, especially the lettering, you gotta put slash cuts like you do on a pin. But you gotta lean your tool over to get that slash cut effect. That's how you get to create the letter. Scroll work, well, that's all imaginary. It's like a plant that you vision in your mind. And it's about 10 years altogether. I've always drawn since I was a kid, but the actual art of engraving, I've been doing it for 10 years. I actually taught myself even the basics of cutting. It was just easy enough. You make a chisel, almost just like wood cutting. You have to create your own tools in order to get the creation that you're looking for. But you have to start off with some basic tools to start from. And the wood cutting tools are the perfect shapes for it. Almost like cutting into leather, doing leather work. Yeah. It takes a lot of concentration.
Attention, please. At 2 o'clock in meeting room 1, we'll be featuring a movie on light tackle blue fishing with Bill
As I'm
Kerrigan.
cutting,
That's at 2 o'clock in meeting room 1. And now for a new announcement. In the Grand Concourse cafeteria, they're now featuring a beer garden with Genesee beer, ale, and light, as well as bar drinks. Please stop by and visit.
the leaf, I try to cut it as I look at it. Right there. here was a beauty line that I just cut. It's just a curve, like a shape, like a letter S, but stretched out. That's what they consider a beauty line. In the world of engraving, that is. The item that I'm cutting is stainless. You can tell the tool's getting dull. The tool that I'm using is a chisel. It's not the V-cut. The V-cut's the better tool to use because you can roll it from side to side and cut a straight line. The chisel, it's a little bit harder to control, but I prefer the square chisel because I can get better character with my cuts. A lot of engravers prefer the V-cut. Beauty line to a leaf. Scroll work is filigree. Call it a filigree. You fill in areas quick and have some kind of image. Doesn't really matter what it is. Curve here to make a leaf. Each time I cut, I try to capture something different. I turn the item with my feet. And try to create
You engrave other stuff than just metal, correct?
Yes, I've engraved shovels, horns.
Shovels?
Yeah, groundbreaking. Engraved spoons, forks. I worked at Trees, Crump and Low in Boston, and we used to cut these backs of forks and bowls for Harvard College, the Paul Revere Bowl, the staff. We used to cut their names on there. But then that was a year ago that I worked there. Now I work at Savage. Trying to start engraving there. pick up in the art world. It's gonna get noticed.
Sounds good.
And competitive. There's a lot of good engravers out there. Each engraver is good anyways. As long as they can engrave, they can cut into, you consider them an engraver. That's how far you develop it.
How did you get started?
I started cutting on I worked in machine repair at Smith & Wesson. I was, there was a vise there and I would sit there and chip away. And I did that for about a year. And then there was an opening I bid for and I got an engraving department.
How long did you make mistakes before you decided you could really do it?
Well, my first one, I carved an Indian. I actually sculptured my first time I ever cut into steel, but scroll work, that took some time because scroll work, it's all it is, imaginary plant, and you have to be able to come up with some kind of plant. It doesn't matter what it is. All it is a filigree, but making it look nice to the eye. You know, it's like on a belt on the leatherworks they have. There's certain patterns people follow.
There are also sculptors.
That's what's good about scroll work. There's no limit to it. You know, it's
paintings and prints in Meeting Room 6, as well as paintings and prints over in the Terrace Gallery of the New York State Museum. And also don't forget that Genesee Beer has a beer garden set up in the Grand Concourse Cafeteria. They have all types of Jenny beer, as well as bar drinks. So stop by. Thank you.
Wasn't listening. They've been 3-5 minutes. I'll tell you again.
gonna finish the T on here. MTG. Right? I hope I didn't make a mistake. I can't erase it, but I can fix it. That's no problem if there was a mistake.
Giant eraser there. What are you doing when I get a mistake? Hold up the eraser.
Well, if I made a mistake, I can always cut down deeper, recut it and put
That would probably
lines.
cause problems on guns with layers of metal so deep, right?
Yeah, that's where you have to be careful. That's where the pressure comes in to the job. When you do make a mistake is the challenge of repairing it.
Please don't forget about registering
That's
for the
what's
turkey
good about-
calling contest in the base of the egg.
Doing this is you can repair things and fill it in and make it look good because you make it into an art piece after you repaired something that's been wrong.
Wrong.
I don't know if it'll make any sense there, but one time there was a gun that this gun dealer was trying to sell for about 2 years. And on top of the rib, he had these guys put screw holes with for the scope, and he wanted to weld the holes and then have me recut it because he couldn't find a machine to do it, to duplicate the cuts that were on there over the screw holes. So I told him to take and screw down the screws, and I cut off the tops. Then I cut the lines over it, put some bluing compound on it, and it blended right in. You couldn't even tell. The only ones that knew it was me and the guy that owned the gun. And that same day, he claimed he sold it. I only charged him $20, to do that. But I saved the gun, put it back on the market. He's carving, making all his fancy carvings with the gun.
Mary Keats to the show office, please. Mary Keats.
Alright, goodbye here. Just like,
Is anyone family inherited? What did your father do? He worked with metal or?
well, he was kind of handyman. That's where I learned a lot of my how to use different tools. You know, using a screwdriver for a chisel, that type of deal. When I was a kid, and he's actually the one that I think inherited techniques and my creativity. I think it came from my mother. But none of them really drew or anything. I was the only one in the family. I got a younger brother that is kind of following my footsteps.
We didn't go down here yet.
But none of them really. My youngest brother is the best artist there. You know, of all of us brothers.
I'll meet you right here.
Of course, I consider myself good too. But I seen his stuff as good. He works at Smith & Wesson right now, and I hope he opens up his eyes someday that he can get paid for his artwork and do what he was put on this earth for, instead of running a machine. But I didn't know, right now I'm putting a Chinese white on a surface. What I could do, I'll cut an eagle's head, the shape of an eagle's head on here, and do his beak. I prefer eagles because I like them. Always did.
You get a chance to see the eagle over here?
Yeah, oh man, when I seen that, he was standing here holding that eagle, I said, oh, that's what someday I like to, if only I can own a license or something, you know, you gotta have a special license or something to own an eagle.
I'm not even sure they allow licenses for eagles.
No.
Other animals like tigers, you can get a license for, and hawks. But you can't have eagles because of how instinct they are.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
You have to be, I think you have to be at some kind of Audubon or something society, and you have to have someday I'm gonna see if I can somehow get as popular as I can and get the license to own one, and that's my heart desire, is to own a real eagle. I'm a Harley nut.
I'm surprised how big they are.
Oh yeah, they're even bigger than that. You know, that's nothing. Where is it? The lettering job? The lettering job? Why don't you bring it over here?
I saw Gates right here.
Bring it over. Tell him to bring it over here. What did he want on there? What's your initials?
I don't know. I'd rather than do that, just go ahead and engrave on it. And when you get the 150, 200 bucks split.
You want to go?
Whatever you think. I don't want it too good. I don't want it, as much as this. But
You want your initials on here?
nah, I'd rather not. I don't think.
Oh, an animal's head?
Yeah, something like that would be real nice.
I'll do something for you.
Get something up in here a little bit,
I'll do something around the lettering, all the symbols. And
what do you figure that's going to run?
Something here, on here. 150?
100, 100 and a half, you get around there. I'll see you in 3, 4, 5 hours, whenever.
Right.
I left my other rifle there, so kind of watch that one.
Okay, I'll put a face here. I'm drawing the eagle, just the head.
How much a knife like this costs for you to do this engraving?
Well, something like this I could get probably $75.
How long does it take you to do that other side? How long does it take to do that other side there?
I don't know. Probably. How long did it take me there?
Attention, please.
15 minutes?
Claire Manley.
And that was
you
quick.
won the Schenectady Gazette lottery for the $25 gift certificate. If you could please report to the show office, I'll take you to the
Tough on the
booth.
eyes?
Claire Manley.
Yeah.
Thank you.
After a while, my eyes get bloodshot. People look at me like, man, he looks like some whacked out stranger or something. But my eyes, I concentrate so much that I lose focus. Not focus, but thought. I get into a trance when I start cutting sometimes, and you have to kind of get out of it because there's so much concentration on one area, especially with things that are happening around me. I'm cutting the eye out. Kind of rolling my tool in towards the eyeball, so it gives it that 3D effect. If I went the other way, I'm gonna go in towards it, bring it into the eye, and it gives it that effect of coming off the surface. If I went the other way, it wouldn't look like an eye. It would look all right, but it just wouldn't have that same effect. I don't think. Then I'm putting a thing there. Putting the lips on the eagle. Bringing it down. We used to go, we used to go swimming down there. Indian Hollow, we used to go down there camping on the weekends.
I take it you developed carpal tunnel from all the handling or hammering?
The what?
I say you developed carpal tunnel syndrome, did you, from the handling?
What's that?
Is that what your wrist is?
Hurts after a while.
Yeah, like in a machine.
Fingers go numb.
Arms doing that shit.
Fingers go numb.
Yeah, they fall asleep at night.
Registration for the turkey
I don't want to have an
calling
operation. My wife had the
contest will be
operation.
Yeah, I just had both hands done. They're still healing.
2:45.
I'm not doing it.
Judges and contestants.
I think so. They haven't healed enough yet, so I haven't had time to really get working heavy with them. I got I do carpenter work and like that. I got the point where after a few nails, I can't hold on to the hammer anymore far on my hand.
Registration will
Yeah,
close
you
at
can't. I find it this
2:45,
way,
so
but-
please register now. That's for the turkey calling
My
contest.
wrist.
Thank you.
I was running a profiler at Savage. a couple months back, and from going like this, and then I have to whack the thing. That's when my hand started going bad. Ever since then. I just bought this thing today, matter of fact, and it feels good. It hurts because of all the strap around it, and I can't really maneuver that good with it, but it beats. By the end of the day, at least I won't be in pain. I think it'll help.
Yeah.
It'll help to let it.
Well, the
heal.
padding might help too, because the other thing is just the vibration in there. What it is a tendon across there that thickens and it pinches the nerve. And that's what happens. They just sever the tendon to repair it, and the tendon heals back longer.
I would wake up in the middle of the night, and it's like tingling sensations and stuff.
Look at it from the side. Look at it straight on. And the reason they built like that.
Oh, Fred.
Still, it's only, it's only got this little neck.
I can't see a building like that with any rooms in it. It's a building like that. I've never been inside.
You may get to the point where you have no choice but to get it repaired.
Ever since that happened, I was upset because they kept me on that machine that long, and they shouldn't have. And they knew. I could tell them there was something wrong. You know, the machine was so old that it wasn't maintenance right, and when I had to release the thing, I had to bang it every time. And you're doing 300 pieces a day, and you're banging this machine. It's like hitting the machine. It's solid, you know. And sometimes you're so upset that you're hitting so hard that you even hurt your hand even worse. Cutting the feathers on it. I'm trying to analyze, have a picture of an eagle.
What's that handle made of? Stainless?
This?
No, the
this
one you're
is
sharpening.
Yeah, it's stainless.
We had a secret place in the used to be a road off of like the brush over the down in, you had that wood driving down in.
Yeah, we used to have some good time.
I guess they started
No.
like we used to be able to walk and charge.
Oh, well.
The guy decided to put up his own concession fee to charge him.
You can come in from the other side.
Went from the other side. Out in the back side, you go down where we looked and the trail was walking down the road.
It's gonna make a killing there.
Not so much roped off. It's like we went to Thatcher's. It's all wood railings, so you don't fall over the edge. You probably have to do that.
Putting more detail in this.
One of the prettiest parts I've seen in Massachusetts. You know, somebody owns it with their car.
Yeah, right. Because you used to go down to Indian Hollow for the
I got a good guy. He said, well, you made $100,000 off your property. I made vehicles.
I think I'll put some scroll work behind it. I won't even bother drawing it. Just see that you have a video of your knife being made. of a scroll. Trying to create a leaf.
Well, it's good. If you got like a lot of your equipment is like a high-tech recorder, instead of VHS like that, it's your limited space in the apartment, and you don't talk all the you don't like that look, the smaller stuff. Yeah.
But you can't focus with the small one like you can with the big one, he said. There's a lot of...
Small, you can. It depends on the camera. Like if you get one of the Sony 90 millimeters, they're fixed focus.
That's what he had, I think.
If you get some of the, what is it? JVC makes a really nice 8 millimeter. And they're, yeah, they got the 10 millimeter zoom, just like the big ones. And Fish JVC. Really? Oh, there you go. So they're okay.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, they've been around.
I haven't heard too many of them in stereo. They've been more for videos. They make speakers now. What'd you get?
Well, at least I got a job out of this show, Merlin. I didn't think I would get a job out of it. Got good publicity.
What you should do is next time you go to a show, you get a VHS on phone. Bring it home, a little TV. Run that on the side. I did that on my show. I'll go out and do video. I'll have some of my work on TV.
Yeah, I don't have to do any talking that way. That's a good idea. You know, sometimes I don't feel like talking, and you know, I